Judgment time.
You're welcome, I guess.
Members of the jury.
I really don't see what all the fuss is about.
Oh my God, the Scoleri brothers!
In favor of conviction.
You, Mr. Stark. You, buddy.
I am the law!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Geek Court. I'm today's honorable judge and executioner, Judge Nathan. Today we're putting on 3 topics on trial. Who should direct Suicide Squad 2? Does Wonder Woman deserve an Oscar nomination? And what is the best IMAX 3D movie specifically made for the format? The topics will be debated and fought over by 2 defendants, Nakia and Adrian. How are you feeling coming in, Nakia? You were a judge in the previous episode. Does that experience give you any advantage?
Zero advantage, Judge, sir. None whatsoever.
Adrian, being the newcomer, how are you feeling coming into this circuit?
I'm feeling all right, pretty comfortable. I'm happy to be here.
Well, the outcome of each case will be decided upon by a jury of their peers, Amanda and Gabe. How are you guys doing today?
Doing great. Ready to fulfill my civic duty and vote for some geek debates.
Amanda.
I'm feeling great. Just really excited to see what they bring to the table.
The jury will decide the final verdict, but should the jury be split, my vote counts for 1/3 of the final verdict. And I have my favorite bailiff, Aaron, on the facts. Are you ready for some justice, Aaron?
You know it, my love.
The defendants will be judged on who made the best case and no personal bias. We will start with 3 cases, each worth 1 point. So let us begin the first case.
Question. Can I tamper the jury?
I will not have that in this court.
All right, then. So I can't bribe them. Got it.
Case number 1. Who should direct Suicide Squad 2? Adrian, since you are the newcomer, we will give you the courtesy to go first for the opening statements. You have 1 minute.
All right, trial by fire. I like it. So my pick is Mel Gibson. Now, simply put, I think Mel is a phenomenal director when given the right subject material. He works with wonderful casts. Every film that he's done, it's dramatic. It's on point with the emotions. He brings it, and every character doesn't feel like a waste, which arguably I think everyone here could agree that Suicide Squad 1, a lot of characters felt like a waste, Killer Croc. And we all had issues with Suicide Squad 1. And Mel, this is a passion project for him simply because he wants to work with Will Smith. And I think you're going to get his A game, especially after Hacksaw Ridge. Might as well let him do it. I rest my case.
Nakia, you have 1 minute for your opening statement.
Thank you. Suicide Squad is a horrible film by anyone's standards. The only thing worse than a bad film is a bad sequel. So if you're going to bring the idea of a Suicide Squad movie to the table, the only real director is Joss Whedon. I'm choosing Joss Whedon because he's a great director. We've already seen it. And he is the reason the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, is the universe that it is. You like that stuff with the Stones? Joss Whedon. You like that stuff with Thanos? Joss Whedon. All his ideas, what he brought to the table. And I think that he can handle a big cast. You need a director that can wrangle a bunch of A-list actors together and then make them work and make every one of them shine. And we've clearly seen that in the Avengers and the Avengers sequel. Rest my case, Judge.
Adrian, you have a minute and 30 seconds for your rebuttal.
I'm glad you brought up the Avengers. Now listen, I love Joss Whedon. I love the Buffyverse. I love Firefly. Who doesn't like Firefly? But the simple point of matter is, Avengers was great. It does not hold up. After the first couple watchings, when it first came out in 2012, everyone went spazzing, jizzing in their pants all of a sudden because, hey, it's the first time we ever got to see all these characters on screen. You look back on it now, it does not hold up. It's more Iron Man and his bitches in that movie because he steals the entire movie. He's the one that sacrifices everything. So might as well make it Iron Man and the movie. Iron Man and the Avengers, excuse me. And the sequel, I do not want a quippy Ultron. Please. Why is this considered good? Why am I getting a Black Widow ship with Hulk? No. Hulk's OTP is Ross, Betty Ross. Please, God, that's my OTP. Don't you sink it. Josh, I rest my case.
Nakia, you have a minute, 30 seconds for your rebuttal.
Thank you. My colleague brings up the fact that his choice for a director is a director, Mel Gibson. Just because you stand behind the camera and can yell action and cut, I don't think that makes you a director. I'm not saying he's a hack, but what I am saying is he's not that talented. He's directed 7 things his entire life. Joss Whedon has directed 6 times that amount, just of TV and movies alone. My colleague also brought up that the Avengers is an Iron Man movie. I'm going to rebuttal that real quick with the fact that every movie Tony Stark is in is kind of an Iron Man movie, but the greatest character in that movie, the one that saves the day, is the Black Widow. Because Whedon, he knows how to spread the love around for characters. I don't think that Mel Gibson has the maturity, the composure, or the level-headedness to direct a Suicide Squad movie. Every movie Mel Gibson's done since Passion of the Christ has made less and less money. In fact, if you take up all the movies that Mel Gibson's ever made and combine them together, they still didn't make as much money as the Avengers or the second Avengers
Money doesn't
movie.
equal quality.
Money does not equal quality, but if I'm going to make a sequel, I want to put a director in the seat that's going to bring money to the table. I want butts in the seats. Only way to get butts in the seats is to put a director that's going to bring butts to the seats. And I think that Joss Whedon will do that. Mel Gibson is sort of a loose cannon that I think would not only go off the cuff, but be unable to wrangle actors like this. Mel Gibson's only done films that...
That's your time.
All right.
You can't fell the Mel.
Now, no more outburst, Adrian, while the other defendant is making his argument.
Even
Careful
if I
there.
was helping?
I am the law!
But I was helping.
Adrian, you have your closing argument, and you're lucky I'm giving it to you. Go ahead. You have 30 seconds.
Well, I'm glad he talked about money. I mean, I'm sure having the Marvel brand didn't help, and I'm sure having the entire MCU up to those points and introducing 2 characters in the sequel, Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, didn't help add money to putting butts in the seats. I mean, Suicide Squad, as bad as it was, still brought in close to $1 billion. I mean, it doesn't matter. I could go to the bathroom right now and deliver you a Suicide Squad better.
Aaron, we'll keep a note of that.
It made $745 million. You could fact check that, by the way.
Which film? I'm sorry.
Suicide Squad.
Yeah, I think it made $745 million, whereas BVS made $827 million. Anyway, listen, it prints money because it's superhero stuff. Josh, I don't think it's enough. Oh, okay, then.
Nakia, 30 seconds for your closing argument.
In closing, I just want to bring to the table that while Mel Gibson has directed some films, every one of his films is based on something that was an actual story or some form of mythology. He's never directed a fantasy film. And the movies that he has directed, fact checkers tell him that his information is wrong. So I don't want a guy helming Suicide Squad that's not going to pay attention to the source material and destroy it. Joss Whedon at least respects the source material and brings that to the movies. Rest my case.
Okay, it's a lot of great points, a lot of good arguments on both sides. Aaron, do we have any facts?
Suicide Squad made $745.6 million.
Okay.
Versus a budget of $175.
I don't think if it were wrong, I don't think that would have dissuaded the points you were making, but that is good to have on the record. How is the jury feeling so far about this case? Gabe?
Well, I think there were some great points made, like you said, but I have to give my point to Nakia, as he made some great counterclaims to Black Widowing saving the day and being used well in that movie, and some great discredits to Mel Gibson as well.
Well, good points. Amanda?
At the end of the day, I have to give it to Nakia because it's true. You don't want a director that does not honor the source material. That's like every geek's worst nightmare. So, my point's for Nakia.
The jury's unanimous. I think it's you had you hit them hard with the seven movies, and Adrian had a lot of great points. Well, the Passion Project for Will Smith, I just don't know if it was enough of an argument making Joss Whedon a bad director as opposed to Mel Gibson. But the jury's going to give that one to Nakia. Moving on to case number 2. And we'll have Nakia go first for this one. Does Wonder Woman deserve an Oscar nomination? You have a 1-minute opening statement.
Patty Jenkins is a delight. I think she's done a lot of good behind the camera. I think she's a fine director. I think Wonder Woman is a great film. And it should have accolades. People should respect Wonder Woman for what it did. However, I don't think it deserves an Oscar. I just don't feel like it was the best. If we're going to give an Oscar to something, it's got to be the best at something. I think it was a roller coaster ride of emotion and action, and I think it did a lot of good for female characters in general, but I would not give that movie Best Director just because it did that. Rest my case.
Adrian, a minute for your opening remarks.
Only a minute? So I'm glad we're all in agreeing here on Wonder Woman being a wonderful film. Finally, DC did something. And we're all in agreement on that. My only thing is Patty Jenkins deserves at least a nomination to win Best Director simply because she made a former Israeli Special Forces soldier emote and act, which I think that's really hard to do, considering Gal Gadot's previous experience was Fast and the Furious bit parts and Keeping Up with the Joneses, where she just had to stand there and look pretty. Patty Jenkins gave us a coming-of-age tale and a fish-out-of-water story, and gave us a Wonder Woman who had emotions and who brought in the action. You can't go wrong with that. And also directing a pregnant woman for an action bit, can't beat that. I rest my case.
Nakia, you have a minute and 30 seconds rebuttal.
Thank you. I think that we live in a world of participation trophies and awards.
Oh.
And I don't think that just showing up to the party means you get a trophy. I love Wonder Woman. Let me start by saying that. If you're going to give Wonder Woman an award at all, maybe costume design, maybe original score, maybe visual effects. I think Patty Jenkins is great, but I don't think she is the best at what she does, which is what an Oscar represents. I think that Wonder Woman is a coming-of-age story, yes, but Gal Gadot was doing great as Wonder Woman in Batman v Superman. It's argued that she's the best part of Batman v Superman. And the scene, and I'm going to bring up a scene real quick, the scene where Doomsday slams her into the car and she looks up at him and grins a little bit, that is Wonder Woman. I was sold in that moment. That is what I wanted in this Wonder Woman movie, and I got it, but that doesn't mean you get the Best Director award. And I think, yes, it is an accomplishment to direct a pregnant woman in an action film, but Scarlett Johansson was doing that as Black Widow. So
nice callback.
I'm saying she didn't get an award, so I don't think that Patty Jenkins deserves the Best Director award. I think Wonder Woman's a great film. It's not good enough to get a Best Director award. Rest my case. Bless you.
Thank you.
Bless you in the court.
Bless you.
Adrian, your rebuttal, a minute and 30 seconds.
It's funny you bring up Black Widow yet again. Someone here probably could think you have a crush. She can't act. Scarlett Johansson can't act. She looked like she was asleep during every movie she's in. And
Objection?
Objection. I present to you Ghost in the Shell. Anyway, so I would like to say right now that I personally think Gal Gadot in BVS, yes, was the best part of that turd movie. And I'm a huge Superman fan, and I love Batman, and I love Wonder Woman. It gave me everything I wanted, except a cohesive plot and Doomsday. That's not Doomsday. That was Zod Day. So here's the thing that I have a beef with, is that you're saying that the grin, that sold you. That's literally equivalent acting to a music video. That isn't emoting. That isn't carrying a film. Gal Gadot sold it. She made the movie her own. She brings it to the table in Wonder Woman. And without Patty Jenkins, we wouldn't have that. And let me tell you something. She was nominated, I believe, in 2005 for her feature film debut, Monster. Patty Jenkins has only had 2 movies. one of which already won an Oscar, I believe, which was Monster. So now you're getting, if you want, fact check that. Now we're getting her being in talks for contention for another film. Dude, it's a landmark on its own. Also, it shouldn't win special effects. That third act was horrible to look at.
That's your time, yeah. It's cutting it close. Nakia, better give me something good for this closing argument. 30 seconds.
Again, I love Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman is my favorite DC character, hands down. Easily my favorite. I can watch that movie until the day I die. But I like a lot of movies. Do I think that every movie I like deserves an Oscar for accomplishing things? No. I think Wonder Woman is great. I think Patty Jenkins is brilliant. Patty Jenkins doesn't deserve Best Director. She doesn't. It's a great film. I like it, but I cannot abide by the standards of giving her. Oh,
all right, that's time.
I didn't get to say it. I know. I had a really good.
You
thing.
were in a rhythm.
I was. It was a really good thing too. I was gonna go back to Suicide.
Adrian, 30 seconds.
You keep doing callbacks. Oh, 30 seconds?
Rebuttal. Closing rebuttal.
All I said was that Patty Jenkins should get nominated. We're not talking about actually winning the award. I specified nomination. Patty Jenkins at least deserves the nomination. At least talked about. The woman, there were shots in there that were beautiful cinematography-wise, and there were actually great character moments from secondary and tertiary characters. I rest my case.
Objection.
Overruled.
What is... I am the law! All right,
I'm
Aaron.
going to take away that gavel.
Give me some facts.
Well, Monster won 0 awards.
All right,
at Academy Awards, at least. It won some stuff, DGA stuff, and Independent Spirit Award. But
what's DGA? Is that Directors Guild of America Award?
Yeah.
So other directors thought Patty Jenkins was good. All right.
You're not debating me, sir.
Take it easy here. Let's take it easy. One debate at a time.
I did have an objection at the end, though.
I could debate all of you at the same time. Bring it.
Adrian, my God, I'm going to hit you with this. I'm going to throw the gavel at you.
Do it, bro.
Wait, I lied.
Beat that robe off of you.
She did not get a DGA award. She won the Independent Spirit Award for Best Feature, and then was nominated for a bunch of other BS awards. So
I did have I had an objection at the end. I thought the debate was should it win the Oscar, not should it be nominated.
Oh, then it's our fault.
The debate was an Oscar nomination.
Oh, my bad.
That's what was emailed to both of you.
I will consult my email.
I thought it was Facebook Messenger. I didn't get an email.
I had carrier pigeon.
Or Facebook Messenger, however, whatever your favorite form of communication is, that's what you got.
All right.
So unfortunately, that does hit you. How's the jury? So Aaron, we're good with the facts with the rest of them?
Yeah.
Gabe, how are you feeling with these arguments?
Gotta admit, Nakia got the hard side of the coin on this argument, but he loves Wonder Woman a lot, and I think that speaks more to Adrian's argument, and I believe Adrian swayed me over because if we wouldn't have Wonder Woman without Patty Jenkins. So you got my vote there, Adrian.
Amanda?
I'm going to go ahead and give my vote to Adrian. It definitely does deserve a nomination. It was something that hadn't been done before. It is a coming-of-age story, and she did something nobody had ever done before. So I think that I'm going to give the point to him, and it definitely deserves it.
The jury is unanimous again. I mean, Nakia, I feel like you were hypocritical a little bit because you were saying your argument was that we're in a generation everyone gets awards just for showing up. But at the beginning, we all agreed that Wonder Woman was a great movie, so I couldn't follow you with that argument. And Adrian just had point after point.
I think we could all agree at least that Wonder Woman was better than both Thor films.
Absolutely, yes. The Ghost in the Shell rebuttal that Adrian hit you with for Black Widow, it was beautiful, a beautiful thing to watch. So that point's going to go to Adrian, that case, and so we're going to move on to case number 3. This one's going to be a tricky one. What is the best IMAX 3D movie made specifically for IMAX, made for the format? So keep that in mind. And let's go with Adrian going first. And you have a 1-minute opening statement.
I'm sorry, I love that picture because it looks like Thanos is mad at me for stealing the popcorn. So, listen, folks, IMAX, the obvious pick everybody would choose is probably Avatar because James Cameron spent a decade making it. But screw that movie. I hate Pocahontas in 3D. I'm going with Ant-Man simply because the scaling, you felt like it. It was beautiful to watch in an IMAX screen. It felt vivid. The colors, everything was lush. Yes, Doctor Strange later on elaborated on the quantum field, but bro, Ant-Man, you have to watch it in IMAX simply because you cannot watch it in 2D and go, man, this would have been better on an IMAX screen. I watch it at home, I've rewatched it, and I've tried. It doesn't have that same feeling, that same emotion when I first saw him get small and shrink. And then down that little drain in the bathtub while the other guy was getting naked. That was great, and that should have been on an IMAX screen, and it's better there. I rest my case. I rambled there a bit. I'm sorry.
Right on the buzzer, on the time there. Nakia, you have a minute for your opening statement.
I will also agree that Avatar is garbage. I don't need to see Fern Gully in 3D. Why do we watch 3D films? Do you know why?
Why? Tell me why.
Why do we need depth in films? We need it because we need to completely immerse ourselves in whatever it is we're watching.
Amen. Preach it, brother.
I know, which is why my movie of choice, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Which one?
The second one.
Oh, okay.
Guardians 2.
Because there's two.
There are two.
Adrian, you are biting into his time second by second. This is not a vaudeville act. Let the man make his argument. I have the law! Nakia, continue. We'll stop the clock for a minute to regroup yourself.
Thank you.
When you're ready.
All right.
I was helping.
Watching Guardians is an experience unto itself. And I think that no film does it better than that. We are instantly transported to a fantastic world that is not our own, and we are carried into it, if you will, by the glory that is 3D. Rest in my case.
Son? I felt that needed a son at the end.
I said it quietly to myself.
Rebuttals, a minute and 30 seconds. Adrian.
Oh, all right. So, yeah, Guardians 2 was great. It was beautiful to look at. But, again, I could probably watch it at home and feel the same thing. Ant-Man, you cannot tell me you watch it at home and go, it's all right. It's, it's the same story as Iron Man, but what sells it are the visuals. What sells it is watching it in a theater. If any of you saw it on IMAX, you know already what I'm talking about. When I'm talking about all the times he was getting small and just watching that entire fight with Yellow Jacket was amazing. Not to take anything away from either Guardians films, because you could have picked either Guardian. You would have had a good argument to have. But, again, I'm just saying, IMAX 3D specifically made Ant-Man better. My argument is that IMAX 3D, when it's used correctly to make a movie better, there's no way to challenge that, no way to refute that. Guardians 1 and 2 stand to their own, but dude, Ant-Man brought it. Especially at that movie theater on Fort Lauderdale, that big Dolby one. You know what I'm talking about? Like that 4-story one? That's beautiful to watch there. I rest my case.
All right, points for giving out the some local shout outs to the Science Museum down in Fort Lauderdale.
We're accepting sponsorships. Money.
Nakia, you have a minute and 30 seconds.
Or free
Thank
movies.
you. My colleague made some very good points. Ant-Man is a great film. Not going to disagree with that. But Ant-Man approaches 3D in a completely different way. It's more of the novelty effect of 3D. Ant-Man is the movie that, yeah, we see him small, but now it's like, oh, look, there's a giant cigarette coming at my face. Oh, there's a bar of soap. Oh, I almost get stepped on. These are great scenes, but it's stuff coming out at me. Guardians 2 approaches 3D in a different way. It pulls us into it. It layers a world on top of each other so that when we get somewhere, we're instantly drawn in. When we get to the planet Ego, my eyes almost literally melted out of my face. And I didn't realize it. And then, I went back and thought about it. And I didn't know this, but Ego, the planet itself, is made up of 1 trillion polygons. That's a lot. That's a big number, 1 trillion. It is the biggest visual effect ever created. In all time, ever. So you can't watch that in 2D. You can't watch that in 2D and expect to be immersed in that world like that. I think that Guardians 2 is exactly what I want in the 3D film. It's space stuff, and It's busy, but I'm pulled into it. It's leading me into the film. Where Ant-Man is great, but Ant-Man is more pushing me out of the film. Ant-Man makes me lean back. Guardians makes me lean forward. And when I'm watching a movie, I want to lean forward and be completely immersed in that film. Rest my case.
That's your time. Okay, Adrian, we're going to move on to closing arguments. 30 seconds.
I mean, 1 trillion polygons. How am I going to argue with that? Easy. I don't want to get pulled in sometimes. And you're only talking about one scene. Ant-Man, the entire film, you're in there with Scott dealing with all the stuff. Check out all the scenes where he's writing Anthony. Especially when Anthony dies. Spoiler alert. That shit made me cry, man. That was like really... I was immersed. You're talking about, again, Guardians 2, while great, I'm still saying you could watch it at home. I can pretty much watch it at home on 4K TV.
Time. Nakia, 30 seconds.
Anthony's a great scene. Any scene he's on Anthony is great, but it's a busy scene. My eye is darting everywhere. It's a confusing scene to watch. Ant-Man, even though I'm there with Scott, I'm still reacting to things Scott is reacting to. I'm not in the film. I'm enjoying the film and I'm watching the film, but Guardians, I'm on Ego. When we get to Ego, I'm there. If I'm going to watch a 3D movie, I want to watch a 3D movie that puts me in the film. I don't want to just experience what Scott is experiencing. I want to experience everything around. And the grass, the trees.
Time. Oh, boy. Aaron, tell me we got some facts.
All right, so real quick, neither of these films was filmed with IMAX cameras. And Ant-Man was filmed 2D and post-converted to 3D. I don't know if that sways any anything.
Guardians wasn't filmed 40% with IMAX cameras? 40% of that film was filmed
I
with
just
IMAX
looked
cameras.
it up, and neither
Guardians
was filmed.
2 or
Guardians 2.
Neither Guardians film
Okay.
was filmed
Okay.
with an IMAX camera.
Well, I'm going to talk to your bailiff at this and show him where he's wrong.
I mean, I'll just show you the list of
Show him
films.
where he's wrong.
The list of films that were made with IMAX
I
cameras.
will show you that you're wrong.
All right. Gabe, how are we doing with the jury?
Adrian had the early lead for me, talking about feeling the scaling. I really like that. But at the rebuttal, Nikhil won me back because he's talking about how Ant-Man comes out at you, but Guardian pulls you in on egos. Those trillion polygons really got me thinking, and I love to get pulled into a 3D movie as well. I just want to be immersed. So I got to give my point to Nikia.
Amanda, help me out. Give me some thoughts.
At first, I was also on Adrian's side with the scaling and feeling like you're in it, but then Nakia pulled me back in when he told me it's like everything's coming at you. The novelty 3D, it's like we're all sick and tired of it. Getting pulled into an immersive world where you feel like you're part of it, I was leaning for it the entire time I was watching that movie, and so I definitely side with Nakia.
Yeah, Nakia made some great points. I mean, ego is one part of the film, though. I mean, not the whole film. And Adrian, Ant-Man does make the whole film better. Breaks my heart doing this. Breaks my heart. But and you did say, Nakia, that your eyes were melted when you saw Ego, but you still have your eyes.
No, almost literally melted.
I think you should see a doctor about that. Just saying.
So I guess we'll go. Jury's unanimous. Nakia gets another point. So it is 2-1. We're moving on to the speedster round. Move things a little faster.
Oh, no.
Each case will be 1 point for the speedster round. Defendants will blindly defend 3 cases. Their stance on each case will be randomly drawn from the sorting hat that my beautiful bailiff, Aaron.
Oh my god, it's a literal sorting hat. That's adorable. Not Slytherin, not Slytherin.
What's wrong with Slytherin?
And so this case, the first case is who would be the better Uber driver? And Adrian, you went first last case.
Yeah.
So Nakia, you'll be going first.
All right, how much time do I have, Judge?
You have 20 seconds for your opening statement.
All right. When I call an Uber, I want to get somewhere fast. And who is faster? Dominic Toretto. You talk about a guy that can go from 0 to 100 in 5 seconds. That's the guy I want picking me up. I don't even have to stand on the curb. He's just going to spin around. I'm just going to fly into the car, and he's going to drop me off where I got to go. Rest my case.
Okay. Adrian.
Yeah, but you have to be part of his family. You have to say family 18,000 times. So Doc Brown is my pick. He'll get you there before you even thought you needed to get there. I rest my case. Boom! Time travel humor.
He doesn't even need the rest of his time.
Travel.
More time travel puns. Nakia, so you have a 10-second rebuttal.
10-second.
Jesus, that's not
Dude,
even enough
speech
time
the
to
rounds,
breathe.
baby.
Let's go.
Speech the round, baby. Speech the rounds.
Ready.
Go.
The time machine never works right. You will get there at the time you're supposed to be to a year ahead of time. I don't need to be lost in time. Dominic Toretto gets you where I need to go fast and now. It's fear.
Time. Adrian, 10 seconds when you're ready.
He fixed it, especially with the ride. We already see that he already mastered it. It's only Biff that messes it up. Rest my case.
And that's the case. Aaron, any facts?
It's too quick. I don't have time.
Gabe, were you able to make a decision?
Yeah, I gotta give my point here to Adrian because it's true. Doc Brown will get you there as soon as you need, and Dominic Toretto, you do have to say family like 18 times, so it's
Per movie. Per movie.
Amanda.
I'm actually going to go with Nakia on this one. I feel like, yeah, sure, he says family's a big deal to him, but it's his job too, so he's definitely going to get you faster.
I'm going to remember that.
The jury split. Now I'm going to have to go by logic, and with a time travel machine, that's one hell of an Uber driver. I'm going with Adrian. So that is a point for Adrian, and you do have to say family like 20 times to be in the Uber car.
You're part of the family.
Everybody family?
So it is a tie game now. We're moving on to the next speedster round.
Damn, dude, 10 seconds.
He can get his money.
This case is you're going to be arguing for the best video game movie.
Oh, my God.
Adrian, you'll be going first, and you have 20-second opening statement.
Oh, let's switch.
No.
No switching.
When you start talking, that'll be when the 20 seconds
Me?
starts. Yes, sir.
Whew.
Any time now. Speed
Family.
rounds.
I kind of want to take an L right now.
All right, go for it.
My pick is Mortal Kombat Annihilation. I don't even remember it. Rest my case.
That's a strong opening statement. Nakia, this one should be a win for you. Go ahead.
When you think video game movies, you can't help but think Super Mario Brothers. It is two plumbers doing their job, and then they're transported to a fantastical world, and they have to save the day. Rest my case.
10-second final rebuttal, Adrian.
Still don't remember anything. Rest my case. But oh wait,
Oh,
I still have time.
you have 5 seconds.
Super Mario Bros. Was underrated. It's a good film.
I am so confused right now, Nakia.
My final rebuttal?
Your 10 seconds, go.
He doesn't remember his movie. Rest my case.
All right, Aaron.
I do.
Do you have a fact to check?
I believe he, in fact, does not remember that movie.
I'm glad we got that cleared up. Gabe, seems pretty.
Because Nakia actually gave an argument, I'll have to give my point to Nakia.
Amanda,
helped
do
his
I
argument.
even need to go to you?
I mean, aside from the fact that he's the only one that gave an argument, but also the fact that it's true. Everybody knows Super Mario Bros. I mean, like, that's your go-to when you ask about a video game. Everyone knows it, so
And
definitely giving it.
Fun
to
fact:
Nakia.
John Leguizamo, Bob Hoskins were extremely drunk throughout the entire production. You can fact check
It
that.
looked like
This is a court of law. This is not fun facts. This is not pop-up video on VH1. This is a court of law. I am the law. All right, the final case.
Fun fact: Nate is drunk right now.
That explains that hammer, man.
We had a little wine, little champagne after trivia. Final case for the speedster round. This is going to be it. You gotta win this one, Adrian, the tie, because you just threw in the towel for that last one. This is going to be, you're going to be arguing who is the worst movie director. Nakia, you'll be going first. 20-second opening statement when you begin.
Edgar White is trash. I can't think of a movie that he's made that I've liked. It's just bad. He doesn't know what he's doing behind the camera, and he doesn't know how to direct people, and it makes me sad to have to make this argument. The rest of my case.
And under
Edgar
time.
Wright.
Under time. Adrian, you have 20 seconds to make your opening statement.
Unlike my friend here, I love Edgar Wright, but I can make a case that Nolan's massively overrated. Every one of his films is literally just practical effects galore, and then Dark Knight Rises happened. That's the best argument I could give, especially since the fact that Bane spoke like this. My name is Bane, and gave us one of the greatest memes of all time. You're a big guy.
Time. Nakia, you have 10 seconds for your final rebuttal.
I'm so sorry.
I don't think anybody in this room can remember a good Edgar Wright film, but Nolan is a masterful director, and I think that my opponent is wrong, and Batman Returns is a great film.
Time.
That was the wrong movie. That was
Time.
Tim Burton.
I know. I could.
Adrian, you're going to be starting your final.
So bad. I'm so angry.
Can we get an ambulance? He's emotionally hurt and crippled.
Is this part of your final rebuttal?
No.
All right. We're beginning now.
So, Nolan, again, Dark Knight Rises, he should have stopped at a sequel. The Illusionist is better than The Prestige. And also, Dunkirk, while great, didn't have a single character to root for. Done.
And time. Whew. Man, that's a tough argument.
I'm so mad.
I apologize for putting that on you guys.
I'm so mad.
You're
I'm so
brave
mad.
souls
I
for
couldn't do it.
taking that.
Would you have
Aaron.
done Nolan?
I would have done Nolan.
Aaron, any facts to check?
No.
Gabe.
Batman Returns was not directed by Christopher Nolan.
I know. I was emotionally wrought.
Okay, he's aware of his mistake. Gabe.
Adrian supported his argument with a lot more examples, so I have to give my point to Adrian.
Yeah.
Amanda.
Same reasoning. Adrian supported it. Clearly, Nakia did not want to argue his point, so the point goes to Adrian.
I feel so bad.
That makes a tie game. We're going to have to go to sudden death.
Oh, sudden death.
So I'm going to...
Well played, sir. Well played.
I'm going to save the case. You're going to pick your answer. The first one to pick an answer, that's what you'll be defending. And the case is the best Stephen King film.
Shining.
Adrian will be defending Shining. Nakia.
Creepshow.
Creepshow. Adrian, since you went first, have The Shining. You'll be going first. You have 20 seconds. Opening statement.
First of all, The Shining is a landmark to horror films. It is one of the standards ever. It also showed how much of a dick Stanley Kubrick was, and it gave us one of the greatest things ever, which is Jack Nicholson going crazy, and we need always more of that. It became kind of a typecasting role for him. I rest my case.
And right on time there, Nakia, 20 seconds.
Creepshow is not only my favorite movie, but Creepshow, I believe, is one of the greatest horror movies ever made. It's basically 5 movies in one. Each one is very different. And no matter what you like, you're going to find something like it in Creepshow. It is one of my favorite movies. And again, the sequels are garbage, but the original one is tried and true, one of the best films ever made.
20 seconds is up. Adrian, you will have 10 seconds for your final rebuttal.
So, The Shining, again, unfortunately, not a whole lot of people remember Creepshow, and unfortunately, not everyone remembers that Stephen King was in it, or even wrote it, or anything. But Shining, everyone started reading.
And that is it. Nakia, final rebuttal.
I think The Shining is a great film, but I believe most of that is because of Kubrick. So I feel like Stephen King only gets half of that. Creepshow is amazing.
And that's your time. Aaron?
Stephen King hates The Shining, the Kubrick movie. That's all. Something I got.
It's a good fact to know. Okay.
It is true. Yeah, he does.
Gabe, this is a tough decision. I'm leaving on your shoulders. How are you feeling with this judgment? What's your choice here?
I'm going to go ahead and make this for you. Make it easy for you. I feel that Adrian once again gave some more examples of why, not so much that it is the best movie, but why it is. Gave us Jack Nicholson, gave us Stanley Kubrick being a dick, culturally significant. I definitely get in the passion from Nakia, but it's all about how you support your argument. Got to give it to Adrian.
Amanda.
I'm actually going to give my point to Nakia because I really love the fact that it's true. It's like 5 movies in one. Everybody can find something to relate to, whereas half the world just decides they don't want to watch The Shining because it's one way and that's it. And on top of that, I mean, even you're having a hard time arguing with him about it.
Dude, Creepshow is awesome. The first one.
The
So
first
yeah,
one. And only
my
the first
vote's for Nakia.
So, we have an argument here of a movie that's 5 movies in one, and we have The Shining. That's
Red Rum, Red Rum.
Kubrick.
my God.
I will say
It was a great defense that you made that a lot of The Shining is based on Kubrick.
Yes.
That was a great move, so I'll give it to Nakia. That means, Nakia, you have won this Geek Court. You have run today's case.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'll take this L gracefully.
You
Well
fought
fought.
hard and valiantly. That concludes today's proceedings. I'd like to thank our 2 defendants, Nakia and Adrian. Do you guys have any final thoughts for your victory, Nakia?
This is great. I want to do this again. And, I want to go up against this guy if I can again later at some point.
And Adrian,
It was really good.
where can people find you? You have a couple other projects.
Hi. You can find us on Fan Freaks on Facebook. It's a really popular group. We're about to hit 800 members. And I also have a YouTube podcast thing, which is called Cannon Fire. You can check us out. We upload weekly.
And thank you to the jury, Gabe and Amanda. Any thoughts about your civic duty that you filled today?
I had a blast. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Amanda.
I had a really fun time. You guys made great points, and I'm really glad I got to hear you out.
My beautiful bailiff, are you ready to thank Full Moon Creative for letting us shoot here?
of course I am.
Well, make sure to share, subscribe, and leave a comment on who you think argued the best. And I kind of hate Nakia for making me vote against The Shining. But I'm today's Geek Court judge, Nathan. So thank you for joining us, and court is adjourned.